Woo! Attack, what say nada? Number 2 goes up and the first leg away from home and a tie with Granada. No Champions League, but would you rather finish the season with nothing to play for? Cause no titles is considered a failure. Woo! To the haters, see you later. While I watch us progress from the quarters. Woo! Attack, what say nada? Number 2 goes up and the first leg away from home and a tie with Granada. No Champions League, but would you rather finish the season with nothing to play for? Cause no titles is considered a failure. Woo! To the haters, see you later. While I watch us progress from the quarters. Woo! Yo, it's your boy Firms, and we're back again with another one. This is the OT99 Banter Room, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Let's go. So yo, Manchester United get the victory against Granada. Nothing less than what I expected. I expected Manchester United to get the victory. Manchester United scored 2 goals, 2 away goals more importantly. And we are in a very, very, very good position to progressing onto the semi-finals of the Europa League and potentially lifting a trophy at the end of the season. But let me get into it. So the lineup, I know many fans are split between how Oli operates in terms of squad rotation. But I mean, I've said it before on this channel that, you know, for all the times that I wanted Oli to rotate the squad, I just know that when we don't have certain guys playing in the squad, we don't perform anywhere near to the standard that we should be performing. And there's key guys, if you take out of the squad, you just see we're flat. Some of the key guys I've known, you know, if they're gone, we just perform badly. That's Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes. Without those two especially, it's bad. But then obviously you've got guys like Rashford and Pogba that you'd also like to see in the squad as a standard. But yeah, you know, when I saw the lineup, if I get into the lineup again, I saw the squad, I thought, this is something that Oli's obviously taken very seriously. We're knocked out of any other cup competition like Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Manchester United has no chance of winning the Premier League. So realistically, Europa League is the only shot of us obtaining a trophy, and we're in a very good position in obtaining the trophy because we got a good draw. Granada, I mean, we could have asked for anything better than having Granada. And we saw in today's game that Granada, with no disrespect, they were a bit toothless, especially in the final third. Toothless, you know, Kennedy was their main attacking threat, but you could just see that they lacked that quality. You know, that quality to really punish us, because we did make mistakes here and there, and you know, against a more superior opponent, we potentially could have been punished. But obviously, we was never really under any significant or real pressure in the whole 90 minutes. So we can see with the clean sheet as well that, you know, we got another clean sheet, and that's probably testament to the fact that you know, we didn't deserve a clean sheet because the defense done well, but it just goes to show that the attack from Granada wasn't sort of up to par, wasn't up to scratch. But anyway, I saw the lineup and I thought it was a strong lineup, and I was happy about the lineup because I feel like with Oli playing a strong lineup, it shows his intent in wanting to lift the trophy. It shows his intent of learning from his lessons. So we've been caught out and we've been, you know, rested on our laurels before when we've had, you know, maybe good results from the first leg and we got complacent in the second leg. And that was one of the reasons why we got knocked out of Champions League against Besiktas, or whatever their name is. And you know, again with your RB Leipzigs and all of that stuff, we just, on the second leg, we got a bit complacent. Anyway, we played a strong squad first leg and we got the 2 goals. And hopefully we still play a decent enough squad, because I don't want us to rest on our laurels and get complacent and then make that same mistake again. But yeah, I mean, it was a strong lineup, and we got the result. So I was happy to see that. The only thing I was a bit worried about was Rashford. I don't know, in the start of that game, you know, we all know that he's still got injuries that he's carrying. I mean, he's a soldier, like I always say, he would always want to keep playing and he needs to be protected against himself. But in a game, you know, he never wants to miss any games. He always wants to play. And I thought like a game today was a game where obviously he hadn't fully recovered. And in the beginning of the game, you can see that where he took knocks and he was sort of leaning down and he looked a bit in pain and uncomfortable. He managed to run it off, thankfully, but I just wanted us, I would have preferred us not play him at all. And I think we would have had enough to still get a victory, even if it was a 1-0. I think we would have had enough. But we played him anyway, and he got the goal, and it was just amazing. But I'll get onto that. But yeah, I think like overall, that was probably the negative. Other than that, I'm happy with everyone else starting, you know. And yeah, I mean, it was justified, as you can see, it was justified. But onto Rash, obviously talked about him getting injured. Looked like he was injured and uncomfortable for certain periods of the game in the first half. He ran it off. But we can see why Oli decided to choose him, because attack-wise, you know, he's on probably 19, 20 goals now. He's maybe 3 or 4 goals away from his all-time best goal-scoring record, and he's probably, you know, gonna match it or eclipse it this season, which is progress from a personal perspective. But you can see why Oli likes to play him, because attack-wise, you know that he can deliver. Yeah, he's not consistent, but there's always every chance that in every other game, Rashford's gonna turn up in some capacity, whether it be some sort of goal or an assist. And you can see it between him and Bruno Fernandes, they're carrying probably 3/3 of our goals for him. So I can see why he plays. And you saw it today, he got the goals. That assist from Lindelof, I mean, I have to mention it. I know the goal was amazing. That first touch from Rashford was a beauty, and the way he sort of toe poked it in or whatever he did. But that pass from Lindelof was amazing. And you know, Lindelof, I don't think he gets commended enough. Well, certainly I don't. If he does, certainly it's nothing that I hear a lot. His passing range is amazing, and he's done that a few times this season. You know, those from deep, like playing those killer passes. He really is a good passer of the ball. So is Maguire, but I think Lindelof is that bit better than Maguire at passing the ball and spraying it like that from deep. So it was an excellent assist from him, and he had a really good game as well, Lindelof. But I mean, yeah, I'll touch that sort of later on. But I'll talk about obviously Rashford. So I was happy to see Rashford anyway get subbed. He got subbed off and got replaced, rightfully so. I feel like he should have been subbed off. He done what he had to do. Now he can rest, get some ice on that ankle, and prepare for Tottenham. Like, I can see why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played him, because he doesn't. It's our strongest squad for one, even though he is in a half injured. Like an injured Rashford is still one of our better players. Ole has a lot of faith in him, and he probably less faith in some of the other guys on the bench. We probably want him to have more faith in some of the guys on the bench, but he clearly doesn't. So what can I say? Do you know what I mean? But he got his rest, and that was a good thing. You know what I mean? So I was happy to see that. But onto the Lindelof pass, like I said, it was amazing from deep. He's done that a few times this season, and he doesn't quite get commended enough for it. But on this channel, I'm going to commend him for what he's doing. He's doing an amazing job. In the last few games, he's been very solid. Him and Maguire, but more so Lindelof. He's been very solid in his defending. He's been making, you know, excellent tackles, interceptions, keeping his clean sheets here and there. And you know what I mean? If we do go on to get a centre back, I know that Lindelof's next on a chopping block. But out of the two, Lindelof and Maguire, he doesn't deserve to be on the chopping block. But obviously we know the reason why he will be, because Maguire not only is our captain, but he cost £80 million not too long ago. So there's no way, whether he plays poorly or not, there's no way Ole's gonna be dropping a guy that's our captain, but also cost us 80 million. It's easier to do it with Lindelof, but Lindelof doesn't deserve to be dropped if that was to happen. And we go on to get a centre back in the summer, I feel like he's been performing overall better than Maguire out of the two. But you know what? Like I say, anyone that comes in and partners either Lindelof or Maguire, any new centre back that we get in the summer, that, you know, has got pace, is strong. You know, like a Koundé or Konate or any of those guys would probably complement Maguire or Lindelof, whichever the partnership will be. Obviously Maguire, I think. will be a better compliment to any of them. To be fair, any of them will complement them better than them two playing together. So I'm not too fussed, but I just don't feel like Lindelof deserved to be dropped out of the two. But I do want, obviously, Bailly, who's in our current squad, to be getting a lot more game time. And obviously we say Lindelof because he's not the captain and he don't cost 80 million. But you know, I just feel sorry for guys like Tuanzebe as well, because he's not getting a look in at all. He's not getting a look in. Eric Bailly's upset and he's even getting games here and there. Tuanzebe gets nothing. You know, Donny's getting scraps. You know, there's a lot of things for all of the good man management stuff that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does. Obviously, we just know in this game we can't please them all. Managers are all going to have players that they favour over the other, whether we agree with it or not. And it's just a sign that you can't please everyone, and it is a big challenge. But I do feel like he should be doing a lot more over the course of the season to be incorporating these players, so that in crucial games like this, against, you know, the latter stages of Europa League, we can have guys that are in a lot better form, not like they're coming in cold, having to build up match fitness, and then we're scrutinising them because they're not performing to the level that we want them to perform at. And that's what I find myself doing when I see players coming in that's been off, been off the pitch for a long time, not been getting any game time. I sort of like judging them based on a player that, you know, has been getting a good run of games. And there's many players in our squad that needed a really good long run of games. Freds, your Luke Shaws, you know what I mean, that needed to get into form before they started operating well. And we just ain't got our players, our squad that's getting enough rotation. Tellers as well. I think Tellers had a good game today. And there's times where I'm like, I want a bit more from him, but he's not getting enough game time for me to even be judging him fairly. Do you know what I mean? So that's just it on that. But like I say, with Lindelof, I mean, he was personally my man of the match. Not only did he keep a clean sheet, but he got that wonderful assist, and he had a really good game. Like, regardless of whether Granada was, you know, potent in attack or not, I do feel like he gave a really good account of himself anyway. He could only do what he could do, right? You're up against the opposition that you're up against, and I think he gave a really good account of himself today. Like I said, he got the clean sheet, an assist, and what more can you ask for from a centre back? Do you know what I mean? What more can you ask for? I commend him. So he's my man of the match. I don't know who the man of the match was because I didn't stick around to see. I didn't hear the commentators' viewpoints or anything like that. But I won't be surprised if it is Lindelof. But if their view isn't Lindelof, my view is Lindelof, and I think Lindelof deserved the man of the match. So shout out to Lindelof. But yes, it is another clean sheet, like I said. United's racked up a lot of clean sheets recently, and this is another one. And it builds that confidence in our defence, puts us in good stead. And yeah, I mean, I know we've been playing Pogba recently. He deserves to be playing games because we need that creativity. We need him to be helping us break down teams. But the more we can get clean sheets, our defence are keeping clean sheets, the more Oli may feel confident in playing one DM and playing Pogba beside them. And ideally, what we need to be doing is playing one DM and Pogba beside that person. I don't know if Pogba's going to stay this season or not, but I think the formula for us would be having someone more creative sitting next to someone more defensive. Now, I've said it before in many other videos that Scott McTominay's a squad guy. A squad guy is a guy that's, you know, grew up in Manchester United. He's United through and through, but he may not necessarily be that next level, you know, for where we start saying, you know, you're the guy that we need in our midfield to win us Premier League titles, you know, titles every other season or every season or Champions League or anything like that. He's a good guy that you can have in your squad. And that's the same that goes with Fred. That's the same goes for Fred. And I say that to say this as well. I say that, but then again, I still sometimes think, have we ever had the right manager to bring the best out of our current crop of players? We had David Moyes, it was short-lived, and we had Louis van Gaal, who won a trophy, FA Cup at Manchester United, even though the football wasn't as favourable, like we didn't desire it, it wasn't attacking, it was kind of side to side boring. Mourinho as well seems like he's past his best days, and he still managed to get Europa League in his tenure at Manchester United, as well as the Carabao Cup. So you can see that with the experience, it came with trophies. Moyes hasn't won any serious trophies, I don't think, with Everton, so therefore I'm not surprised, you know, that his tenure got cut short anyway and he didn't win anything significant. I think he maybe won, did he get a charity shield or something like that anyway, but you know, and I just feel like if United had a real good seasoned attacking style manager, United will probably get the best out of some of the players, like your Scott McTominay's, your Freds, and our current crop of young attacking players. So, you know, I say that with a pinch of salt at the same time, but, you know, some may disagree and some may say, you know what, Scott McTominay and Fred just ain't it. And, do you know what I mean? Again, you know, what can I say from what I've seen? They're good guys to have in a squad, but I wouldn't say they're starters. And I'll say that we could potentially do better with a Wilfred and Didi, partnering someone like a Pogba or Kessié from AC Milan, partnering a Pogba as well. I think we'll get a lot more from the team. We can probably go without getting a centre back if we had a proper DM as well, because you can see the clean sheets that we're keeping. But yeah, I mean, that's just my viewpoint on it. But you know, back to Telles. I mean, Telles, I thought we had a decent game. We whipped in a nice cross. I remember that Cavani just didn't get his. You know, I don't feel like Cavani gave enough to that cross. He acknowledged it as a good cross, but I feel like he could have attacked it more, threw his body at that more, tried to show the hunger, and it's a bit worrying because Cavani, like I said before, I feel like his head, he may be distracted, or his heart may not be in it anymore, and I think he's probably got one leg out the door. And we're hearing all the rumours and all the smoke about him potentially leaving, and you know, there's no smoke without fire. I think his agent or his family his father or something mentioned that, you know, he's going to be leaving, and I do feel like from the body language that I'm getting is that he's already gone, and that's probably affecting his performances on the pitch. And if it does start to do that, then we don't really need to be starting Cavani. Really, I'd rather us be starting Amad Diallo and playing him out wide, you know, than starting Cavani when his heart's not in it. Because as good as he is, as seasoned as he is, if your heart's not in it, your heart's not in it, and that's as good as nothing, really. So yeah, that's just my take on it. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know about you guys, but that's the vibe that I'm getting with Cavani at the minute. And Telles put in some really good balls. I remember one in particular, and I thought Cavani didn't do enough to try and get on the end of that cross. Yellow cards, man. So United went into that game with a few of our guys on yellow cards, and it just felt like with every challenge we were making, we were getting booked and guys were missing the second leg. So I think we've got Luke Shaw, Maguire, Scott McTominay, so defensive options are out of the second leg. And in that game I was thinking, do you know what, I don't quite mind it as long as we demolish Granada and make sure that the second leg, you know, there's no coming back for them. We got 2 away goals, which I was happy about, and it should be enough against Granada. And I was just thinking, you know, do we play it tactically where, because that is a tactic, do we play it tactically in a sense where those guys that was all on yellows, just get your suspensions out the way on the second leg, as long as you can get a nice healthy cushion and you can see through the second leg. Get your suspensions against Granada, because you don't want to be getting suspensions against more serious opposition. And I don't know if it carries over, I think it may do, I don't know, against either your Romas or Ajax, for example. You don't want to be missing key players. So in a sense, I'm happy that, you know, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay got their suspension, will get their suspensions out the way, and then they can go into the Ajax game or Roma game, whoever we play in the semi-final, with a clean slate. But I was worried in that game, because I was thinking this ref is kind of biased, and I don't know about what you think, but I just feel like he was dishing out yellow cards willy-nilly for Manchester United players with every challenge we made. But I felt like Granada wasn't there. We got 5 yellows, for example, they got 2, and I felt there was a lot more challenges that Granada did which warranted a yellow card, but that card just wasn't coming out the pocket. And I was thinking, is this gonna be one of those games? Like, are we gonna go down to 10 men and where we didn't really, I think it was just a bit harsh. But obviously saying that, you know, there's that penalty incident, and I don't believe that was a penalty incident. I think it was very soft, very soft. We were fortunate and I'm happy that we got it, but I sat there seeing that thinking, you know, that was not a penalty. And you can tell by the players' reactions, that says a lot as well. I don't think one player looked at the ref or protested for that to say, you know, that was a pen. The ref blew it, and I really had to look to see what happened. And I still think after watching that it was soft and it wasn't a penalty. But hey ho, I'm not gonna complain. I'll take it any way it comes, as long as we're getting that victory, you know what I mean? It's the business end of the season, and I'll take the victory any way it comes, you know, any way it comes, whether it be penalties or what. I must say that it was a poor penalty from Bruno Fernandes. I mean, he could have hit it with a lot more accuracy in the corner. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, and fortunately enough, there was just enough power on it for it to, like, you know, trickle into the net. But I feel like it probably wasn't one of Bruno's better pennies, but he got the job done at the end of the day, man. So yeah, I just feel like, you know, we've got these suspensions now, but I still think we've got enough. I mean, at least you can have Eric Bailly's got COVID, so he's not going to be playing in that second leg, but maybe Tuanzebe might be able to get a look in, you know, partner, you know, Lindelof, and you can got Teles, who he had a decent game against Granada. Maybe he can start for replace Shaw, and then you've got whoever, whether it be Matic or whether it be Fred partnering Pogba in the second leg. So I'm comfortable with that anyway. I'm not too fussed about our suspensions. Touching on the penalty, so the 2 away goals, yeah, I do believe we're comfortable. We're gonna go through and bring on Roma or Ajax, any one of them. I personally want to play Ajax. We've played them before, we're familiar with them. Obviously we beat them on road to winning the Europa League under Mourinho's tenure. But I do feel like they'll probably be a better position to play Ajax than playing Roma. Roma's obviously up 2-1 against Ajax. But Roma's just one of those teams where, you know, they've got guys that could potentially horn you, like Mkhitaryan. We got rid of him. I won't be surprised if he goes on to have a great game against us. You know, obviously Zeko, who's a more complete and better finisher. And where we make our mistakes, someone like Zeko, who's good in the air, can score a goal, really more clinical. I feel like he could also punish us as well. Obviously, you've got Smalling. I won't be surprised if he gets a set piece sort of goal against us. So there's all of these things. I'd rather avoid Roma, but it does look like they've got an advantage against Ajax anyway. And they could be potentially the team that we're facing in the semi-final. But we'll just have to wait and see after the second leg. But I would have preferred to have Ajax, you know. I feel Ajax played well as a team, but I feel like better face the team that we do know than the team that we don't really know, like Roma. I think they're more dangerous personally. But we'll see who makes it through. We'll be up for any one of them. You know what I mean? You've got to play the best teams in the league anyway, so in the tournament anyway, to win the trophy, and that's what we're going to do. But what I wanted to touch on is Arsenal. I know this is a Man United channel, but it was funny watching that result, because I'll talk about all the European football as well just quickly. So obviously Arsenal, Pepe done well to score late on. It's funny, I did think that game will be tricky. Slavia Prague, sorry. I did think that game will be tricky. It's just because they're a dodgy team, Slavia Prague. They're a team that's, you know, they're funny. They're a team they're kind of like these mini giant killers. And they proved very resilient against Arsenal today. They proved very resilient. Against Arsenal, and I knew it would be I knew it when what do you call it? They announced the teams that will be playing. I always looked at Slavia Prague and thought that's not going to be an easy game. It's really not going to be an easy game, and we saw it today. And it would be funny if they went on to beat Arsenal and knock them out. I mean, that would be another giant that leaves the tournament, and it's less work for us. But I do think Arsenal will come back and pick that and win that game. But they haven't done themselves any favours conceding that late goal. I know they'll be very disappointed in conceding that late goal, because it just makes the second leg a lot more awkward and more difficult than it needed to be. And I find, you know, I can relate with our team. We make certain games more difficult than it needs to be, where we should have deaded off Granada a long time ago, and, you know, get a nice, good, healthy, you know, cushion in terms of goals, more than 2 goals even. We find ourselves not doing that, and Arsenal's in that same position now. But we had some really good football, Champions League football, man, on Wednesday. I was upset because there was just too many games, and I was flickering between, you know, Real Madrid and Liverpool's game, and then you had Dortmund and City's game. They were both good games. I ended up watching maybe the first 15 minutes of Dortmund and City. I missed the goal from De Bruyne, and then I moved on to Real Madrid one, and I watched that one, and I'm happy I did, because that was a really entertaining game. Vinicius had a really good game, and it was on point. And Liverpool obviously got punished, you know. And Real Madrid's a funny team, you know. When it comes to Champions League, they may not be performing that great in La Liga. I mean, their form picked up recently, but in Champions League, they're a funny team, you know. You can never write them off. I mean, this is basically their tournament, and Arsenal's felt the full force of Real Madrid right now, and where they would have thought maybe we can get a result, it's obviously looking like a mountain to climb. Liverpool could do it, but I mean, I just struggle to think like they'll be able to keep a clean sheet against Real Madrid, especially, you know, if Real Madrid gets that away goal, then, you know, it will be a major problem, a big mountain to climb for Liverpool. And yeah, I just don't feel like Kabak is up for it. I mean, they really needed that Van Dijk. You saw when Real Madrid were playing those balls, targeting Alexander Trent and that Kabak guy, and you just feel like they would have never done that if Van Dijk was there. He would have been winning those aerial duels and just holding it down, but they were exploiting Liverpool's weaknesses, and I feel like they'll continue to do that in the second leg as well. You know, Real Madrid's got pace on the counter attack. Hazard might even make a cameo in that second leg, who knows. But it's set up to be fine. It's nicely poised, and it's set up to be an entertaining game regardless. Liverpool's gonna go all guns blazing at Anfield. So is Real Madrid. They're gonna try and protect their lead, but they're gonna try and go for a goal as well, at least get an away goal. And same with Dortmund and City. I would have liked to see Sancho play, you know, but he's obviously injured. But Haaland didn't get his goals, so he's gonna want to show up again in that second leg against City. So it should be an entertaining game, man. It should be an entertaining game. But, you know, I'm happy, man. I'm happy we progress. You know, second leg we progress. I feel like we're already in the semi-final. But yeah, man. You know, overall, just to conclude, I mean, obviously this is a good opportunity for Manchester United to win a trophy. You know, we're in the quarterfinals, one foot away from the semi-finals, and we need to progress in that semi-finals to show that we've made some progression. You know, we need to get to the final to show that we've made progression, like I just said, and hopefully we can do that. And if we end up finishing second and winning Europa League, I'll be happy with that. I can't complain. You know, we'll add a bit of money to our coffers. I don't know what the tournament money is for winning Europa League again, but maybe it'll bring an extra 10 million from, you know, all the games that we've played in terms of the prize money and lifting the trophy. Maybe a bit more, I'm not sure, but that will surely come in handy, you know, in the transfer market. You know, we can put some money towards, you know, buying players that we need, because we need every penny we can. But yeah, that's me. That's my thoughts. That's my views. That's my post-match reaction. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and support the team.